Yep. We're live. What's up, Angie?
What's up, Nick?
So, she has no idea what we're doing. And typical Angie fashion, what are we doing in this live? I was like, I don't know. And then we decided on something on a walk. And then on the way down here, I changed my mind.
Well, then you're going to get what you get.
Yep, we're going to get what we get. Always get what you get with when we're talking to Angie. She never holds any punches. And don't take her tone of voice in the wrong way. She does not hear her own tone of voice. Okay. So, I wanted to talk to you guys and get a different perspective. Because I do a lot of the mindset, or all the coaching and those aspects. But Angie plays a huge role in my life and in Spartan Lifestyle of what it's become. So, I wanted to ask her some questions around some mindset stuff. Now, she's going to be like, okay, what am I going to get asked? What am I going to get asked?
I'm fine.
We're good,
roll with it.
right? Just like Oprah Winfrey, she's going to roll with it. But if you guys saw, I posted today a short little clip from a conversation that I had with Brett McDonough. And it's about be, do, have. And if you watch it, he talks about how we get stuck in the doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're a mother, you're a project manager, you're all these types of things. But we kind of miss out on the be sometimes. And Angie is the definition of being herself, like ever since the minute I met her, for good or bad. She is completely herself all the time. So, from your perspective, when we talk about that, and being is like the person that you are, not that you are a project manager or being a student, those types of things, but in a much deeper level. So, Angie, what kind of were some of your takeaways on that?
And so I think we do as a society get caught up in kind of the have. I think it's the have that drives it. It's the do to get to the have. And forgetting about, to Brett's point, who the be is. And I think for me, I've, over time and as you mature and have experiences, you kind of feel comfortable in your skin. You feel comfortable with your scars. You're kind of, you are who you are. And then I think you have to embrace who you are. And I think once people stop looking at trying to change who they're truly at the core meant to be, they will, number one, it's easier. It's easier to just be who you are meant to be, who God wants you to be. And I think you can inflect that in every area of your life. And in fact, I was on a call a half an hour ago with one of my project managers, and she's all stressed out about this meeting we're having tomorrow. We don't have all of our ducks in a row, and I just said, you know what, it's okay. You don't have to have all the answers. So, but you have to be confident in what you do know and where you need help. And I think that, resonated, as I thought kind of through that, it was, I'm talking through that becomes second nature for me. Don't, be who you want to be, but that doesn't mean that you have to have all the answers. It's okay to ask for help from people as you start to evolve. And the have will just come.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's a good perspective because I think I related a lot to kind of what Brett has said, and I've had other coaching conversations with men in which that do is very important, right?
Yeah.
That do, it's just a different perspective sometimes. So one of the things that you said is be yourself. But what happens if I don't like myself? What happens if I want to make changes, whether it be physically, emotionally, mentally? What happens if I'm in that situation? Then, okay, just be yourself, Nick. Well, shit, Nick's kind of anxious and can get down on himself sometimes. What about those situations?
I think we should all always strive to grow and enhance. None of us are perfect. None of us are like, oh, this is exactly where I want to be, and I'm going to be here for the rest of my life, right? So you need to probably reflect, probably understand what things you have control over and what you don't have control over. A good way I could relate this to was in my mind for years was like, I want to hit this weight on the scales. This is what I want to be. And when I was at my lowest, from a weight on the scales perspective, while I liked how I looked, I wasn't happy. I was doing 2-a-day work. I was training for 5 events. I was not eating much of anything, not really sleeping. And so I think if you look to want to evolve and make changes in yourself, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think first off, make sure that it's something that's attainable. engage in people who can help you. So whether that's somebody, you know, and I don't want to take everything back to what we offer, but if you're somebody who's like, you know, I don't like this thing about myself, I'm not comfortable talking in front of people, then put yourself or get yourself with somebody who can help coach you on things like that. Get involved in Toastmasters if they even still have that anymore. Get involved in somebody who's better at it than you are and start to reflect the things that they do.
Just do something, right?
Right, yeah, but sitting back and trying to, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, but not taking action or trying to control it all yourself. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm not great in this area and I need help. Mm-hmm. And actually that's probably freeing because it releases the responsibility of you of, why can't you make this change? To, you know what you're doing is what I would like to do, so let's talk about this. Yeah. And what are the things, you know, how do you get comfortable in that situation and learn from other people? There's nothing, you should always be wanting to learn.
And expose your blind spots, right? Yeah. Like Brett and I talked yesterday, is it's got to have somebody else that's going to show you some of those blind spots, which you may see as a weakness, may not be as a big weakness, and you may not be seeing your strengths when you're trying to make those changes. Yeah. Last thing is, when we're talking about being, and it kind of ties into what we were going to kind of talk about, and what we're talking about now is, if you want to be somebody different, and you want to achieve some goals, progressing down the line, and I think about it from like a physical standpoint, I want to be somebody that's skinnier. Okay, that's great. But if you're also somebody that wants to lose some weight, lose some body fat, but you're also somebody that enjoys social life, maybe drinking or food or those types of things, make sure that those coincide and they're not friction, right? So like, I want to have this weight loss, or I want to have this six pack by this rapid of time and put it in this time frame. But realistically, your commitment to making those sacrifices maybe isn't there. And that's just going to lead to frustration, right? We've talked about it. We kind of talked about it today, right? We talked about, and you mentioned it now, you chasing a weight, chasing those types of things. And now, what did you say your biggest thing for working out is? Confidence and to feel strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think once I got, I was done chasing the scales, and let's be real. If you're trying to get to a certain body weight by a certain time, it's probably not going to be sustainable. Because you're probably trying to hit an event, so recognize that. You might be able to hit it, but to sustain it might be a different story. I would challenge people to think about less about a weight on the scale and more about how do you feel. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I guess, again, for me, you asked me today, like, why do you work out? I work out, and I don't even think of it as working out or training. People are always asking, what are you training for? I'm training for life. So the things I have gained from strength training and from consistency and working out and eating a healthy diet, and again, I realize you guys only see what you see, but we have ice cream, we have pizza, you know, I have
Did she bring her wine down?
Yeah, I have a glass of wine every night. I've never tried to shy. Again, this is me. You're gonna get me. You're not gonna get somebody that's not me. But really think about what other benefits you get. So for me, training, working out, being strong, first started with, I liked how it made me feel. Then as I dialed things more, and I slept better, and I ate better, then I liked how I felt like I was getting stronger. And that's really what propelled me, because that strength physically propelled me mentally. And to the point where mentally I feel like I work out because I want that mental edge that I get and the strength that I feel about myself and within myself and knowing what I'm capable of doing. Not like I'm sitting on conference calls, you know, flexing or anything like that, but like knowing that I'm strong and knowing that, you know what, I ran for the first time outside in 5 months this week and my times were pretty good. And they were pretty good because I'm consistent. And for me, the strong mental strength that I get from things carries over to every aspect of my life. It gives me confidence in my work, it gives me confidence in my personal life, it gives me confidence in everything that I do. And, you know, you've made a comment to me before, like, aren't you scared? And I may have said this before on, any sort of video we would have done, like, aren't you scared about this or about that? And I'm like, I don't get scared about anything. I have confidence in that and not to get all churchy on people, but I'm confident in my faith. I'm going to heaven. When I die, whether that's tonight or 40 years from now, I'm going to heaven. So whenever it's God's time, it's God's time. I also feel that way about any circumstance that enters my life. It's entering my life for a reason. And so rather than be like, woe is me, I'm going to look at it to say, what am I going to do about this? Can I control it? Can I not control it? And if I can't control it, I give it to God. If I can't control it, then I better get my ass in here and control it. Life goes on, and everybody's going to get punches thrown at them all the time. So I'm kind of going a little bit off topic, but for me, it all came back to getting physical strength, led to mental strength, which led to just confidence in who I am. Right. I don't question who I am. And
it boils down to put a big bow on it, is being who she's going to be. So she's consistent, and she's somebody that is consistent. That's just who she is. That's who she is as a person. It shows up in her work life. It shows up in her home life. Everything is consistent. Straightforward. She has no fear. Anything that comes up at home, work, any of those types of situations. And that's what we're talking about. It's not about achieving something. If you're motivated to do your workouts, or more or less you're dedicated and disciplined to do it, you're going to find yourself disciplined to do crap work for a boss or for your employer that you don't want to do. You're going to find yourself finding joy in, as she's cleaning off bottles in the wine rack today, she's dusting it off. She's like, I love this shit. This is so great. And then that's her attention to detail. Like when she's mad at me because I don't put her workout in Saturday, she has to long-handed out into her notes. That's just Angie. And that's what we're talking about, right? About being. Not just do something, not just do a workout, not just do a diet and nutrition plan, but be that person that enjoys that diet and nutrition plan. So
I have one other thing. So when you're trying to be who you are, have grace for others who are trying to be who they are. Mm-hmm. So a spouse, a family member, you may not agree with things that they do or how they act about things. And I guess I feel like as long as obviously they're not being detrimental and harming others, have respect for the fact that they have confidence to be who they are and appreciate that. Don't judge.
Right.
So.
Yep. Fact. But also don't let people self-destruct. You know, watch that.
Right. Right.
So, hope you guys enjoyed. Angie and I will be back next week. Gotta think of another topic.
Okay.